Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So, for today, our topic would be space requirements. So, from the last time na nag-discuss tayo, di ba, we have discussed yung early considerations when it comes to department planning, design, and construction, and also yung mga first requirements such as yung accessibility, functional areas, and also staffing, right? Yan. So, for today, again, space requirement po yung magiging topic natin. So, we will discuss ano ba yung usual dimensions, how to estimate the number of, for example, treatment cubicle needed for yung proposed na clinic ninyo. Okay, so there are four functional areas in the department. Okay, so these are yung hydrotherapy area, the gymnasium, the cubicle area, and also the non-treatment areas such as your administrative areas, staff, student, patient waiting, and storage, and also your restrooms. So, di ba, when it comes to the planning process, so we have to anticipate also yung utilization of the service. Okay? This is one of the important factors in determining your space requirements. So, kahit pa anong busisi nung pagsa-study natin during the planning phase, yung total space requirement, usually we have to plan it based on guess. Okay? Kasi syempre, we are planning. So, hindi mo pa alam kung ano yung totoong amount of space na kailangan mo. But you have to guess muna, okay, the, yung utilization rate ng isang area na kailangan mong gamitin. So, in this lecture, I will be giving some suggestions and also mga considerations that will help us reduce yung yung part ng guessing. Okay? Okay, kumbaga parang hindi tayo basta naman manghuhula. Kumbaga, providing you suggestions para din ma-improve yung accuracy nung estimate nung space na required or na kailangan mo um for your planned clinic or apartment. So the first functional area is your hydrotherapy area. So here, since ang hydrotherapy is one of the treatment or management na pinoprovide natin as physical therapist, okay, so mapapag-aralan nyo naman sa PAE kung ano-ano yung effects ng water when it comes to healing process. Okay? So, meron tayong iba't ibang machines na nakalista dito, such as your small whirlpool, extremity whirlpool, low boy, and the Hubbard duck. So, meron silang iba ding sizes. So, ito yung recommendations for those machines kung ano yung required space nila. Okay? So, yung small whirlpool, it is recommended that an area of 5 by 7 feet or a 35 feet area para lang sa small whirlpool. Extremity is 7 by 8. So, with here, usually yung lower extremity, okay, yung ilalagay dun sa Hubbard tank. Kaya medyo maliit lang. The low boy is an 8 by 8 or a 64 feet. And yung Hubbard tank, so ito yung nasa lower right corner nitong slide na ito, wherein yung body ng patient is fully immersed na talaga doon sa tanke. So, a 16 by 18 or a 288 feet is needed for such machine. Okay? So, ayan. So, makikita nyo naman dito sa right side, sorry, yung mga different types of whirlpool. We have your upper extremity, yung nasa upper right. Okay, then dito sa may upper left, siya yung extremity whirlpool. The low boy, itong nasa baba wherein nakahang yung patient, tapos yung lower extremity din niya is submerged. Then sa Hubbard tank, yun nga, yung almost buong body ni patient yung naka-submerge. Okay? So, ayan. So, kasi medyo malalaki yung ibang type. So, kung mapapansin nyo, medyo malaki din talaga ang needed for the hydrotherapy area. Most especially kung lahat ng machines na ito ay available doon sa clinic mo. Okay? The second area is the gymnasium. So, one source na nabasa ko, they recommended that almost one half of the total space occupied by your department should be allocated for the gymnasium. However, kung titingnan natin, adong malaki yung sakop niya. Okay? For HECOC, okay, yung title, yung author ng book ng PT Admin and Management, he suggested that approximately one-third of the total space of your department is realistic na measurement or space requirement for the gym. Okay? Although this is a very highly utilized area, okay, but pwede pa rin kasi tayong mag-allot ng ibang space for the department. Kumbaga, yung one-third na yon is big enough na for the gymnasium. If ever na, ba, as I have said kanina, that yung space requirement planning, usually, we are basing it in uh, guesswork. Kumbaga, more on guess lang yung approximation or estimate natin ng isang designated area. But, if ever nga na gusto mo mag-overestimate ng space, kumbaga, this is the most logical place na para mag-overestimate ng space requirement. Kasi, within the gym, madami na activities na pwedeng ipagawa dun sa patient. Okay? And, syempre, mostly naman, di ba, puro exercise. So, mas maganda, dito na sa gym, ilagay yung enough space, okay, required. The next functional area is the admin or the support services area. So, syempre, marami tayong pwedeng mailagay dito since kasama dito yung patient waiting area, the reception, the director's office, staff lounge, charting area, conference room, patient restroom, staff restroom, janitor's closet, and also your storage of your clean linen and dirty linens, supplies, yung charts and also the forms, and also yung storage for your assistive devices such as your wheelchair and also the stretcher. So here, makikita nyo naman yung recommended dimensions for each area. Okay? But not necessarily naman na kailangan lahat meron kayo doon sa inyong admin support services. Okay? Kumbaga, ano lang naman dyan yung kailangan nyo, then follow kung ano yung dimensions or feet na recommended. And lastly would be your cubicle area or your treatment area. So, syempre, nandyan yung treatment cubicles wherein it is ang recommended ay 8 by 10 feet or in 80 feet and an examination room. So, most of the time naman, the treatment cubicle and examination room almost magkama na sila. Kumbaga, isang area na lang sila. Okay? Kasi most of the examination naman, physical therapy examination, it happens in your treatment cubicle. So, siguro dun sa kung sakaling ibubukod pa natin yung dalawang area na yon, ito nga yung recommendations ni nung author. Okay? So later, sa susunod na slide, we will be discussing paano natin i-estimate yung number of treatment cubicles na kailangan nyo for your clinic. So here we will determine yung estimate number of cubicles. Okay, so meron tayong gagamitin na formula, but this formula can also be used to determine yung number of functional areas na gagamit o na kailangan ninyo. Okay? Itong mga ito, it will depend upon yung anticipated use of your particular element. Okay? So for in this example, yung cubicle ang hahanapin natin. Okay? So, first, we have to estimate the number of cubicles by determining the average occupancy time of a cubicle. for treatment of one patient. So, kumbaga, based on your experience, based on your guess, okay, gaano ba katagal yung occupancy time ng isang cubicle for treatment ng isang patient? It is expressed in minutes, including the time required for preparation, undressing and dressing of the patient, and also aftercare. Okay, so that is occupancy time. Next is estimate the total number of patient treatments per day that require cubicle space. So, ilan daw yung number of patient treatments na kailangang gumamit ng cubicle. Okay? So, treatment is defined as each occasion a patient enters cubicle, receives treatment in that cubicle, and then leaves. Okay? Doon mo lang masasabi na doon lang siya counted as a patient treatment if pagpasok niya dun sa cubicle, naka-receive siya ng treatment within that cubicle, and then natapos at umalis na siya. Okay? Next is to identify the total available time per day that a cubicle could be used for patient treatment. Okay? Ito naman, the total available time per day. Okay? It is expressed in minutes, but it doesn't include lunch hour. Okay? So, di ba usually naman we have 8 hours doon sa ating actually, ang duty natin, 8 hours sa trabaho, excluding yung lunch. So, usually, 7 hours lang. Yung iba naman, meron duty ng 9 hours, excluding yung lunch. So, bali, total 8 hours lang yung bayad sa kanila. Okay, parang ganon. So, ayun. So, yun. Kumbaga, 7 hours available yung cubicle for that day for a patient treatment. That actually is determine the typical daily utilization rate for cubicle. Okay? So, usually, ang utilization ratio or rate na isang cubicle, okay, usually 80% okay, to 100%. Okay? Kumbaga, ang isang cubicle sa buong araw, 8 hours na duty mo, 100% ibig sabihin yung available time niya. Okay? Pero, hindi ibig sabihin na dun sa 8 hours na yun, laging may nag-o-occupy or laging may gumagamit doon sa treatment cubicle. So, this is the proportion of daily available time during which cubicle is most likely to be occupied. Okay? So, yung formula na gagamitin natin is in order for us to determine element, okay, which is here, ang hinahanap natin is the number of cubicles. So, we need to multiply occupancy time by the treatments, okay, divided by the available time and the utilization ratio. So here is an example of how to compute for the number of cubicles. So for example, an occupancy time, ang average ko sa isang treatment ko sa isang patient within the cubicle is 30 minutes. Okay? Available time nung treatment na yon sa buong araw is 420 minutes or 7 hours. Okay? Excluding yung 1 hour lunch time ko kasi hindi naman ako nagtitreat talaga during lunch time. For example, yung treatments per day ko, I assume na 30 patients per day yung kayang i-treat ng buong department. And the utilization ratio is most of the time 80%. Okay? So, usually, less than 100% naman ang utilization ratio kasi hindi naman, kung mapapansin mo na lang, available time na lang. Meron ka ng 1 hour na hindi mo ginagamit yung or hindi mo ni-utilize yung area. So, talagang hindi papatakwan ng 100% yung utilization ratio natin. Okay? So, applying the formula, 30 treatments times 30 minutes divided by 880 or yung 80% na utilization rate multiplied by 420 minutes is equals to 2.7 or i-round off natin into 3. Okay, so ibig sabihin, kailangan natin ng 3 cubicles for that apartment. Okay? Your treatment cubicle, kanina, okay, ang recommendation na ang dimensions po na recommended is 8 by 10 feet or 80 square feet. Tama? So, kung kailangan mo ng 3 cubicles, ang isang treatment cubicle ay 80 square feet, then, kung yung tatlo, ang total space requirement na kailangan mo for the treatment cubicle is 240 square feet. So, for the occupancy time, yung formula na ginamit kanina natin o dun sa example given earlier, occupancy time, di ba, was defined with specific reference to treatment cubicle, which is the time of occupancy of any treatment, evaluation, research, or other special purpose space. Okay? So, yung definition of na ginamit natin kanina, pwede mo rin siyang i-apply for other spaces within your department. Okay? So, pero kailangan mo laging i-include dito yung preparation time and also the clean-up time para mas realistic yung estimate mo ng space mo. Okay? So, for planning and other purposes, okay, yung occupancy time, it should always um, get include the preparation and cleanup time. So, pwede natin siyang i-subdivide into attended time, meaning yung amount of time na nandun ka as PT, you are attending to your patient. And also the non-attended time, kumbaga yung time kung saan ginagamit mo or utilize mo yung space pero wala ka. Okay? So, on the next slide, papakita ko sa inyo yung different activities and the amount of attended and non-attended time. Okay. So there are different time factors na kailangan nating i-consider. The attended treatment time, again, ibig sabihin na to, the time required for constant attention with the patient by a staff. Meaning, nandun ka kasama ng patient. Okay? Preparation and cleanup time includes preparation of the treatment area and equipment, the application of the equipment, the removal of appliance and dressings, transportation of the patient, and etc. While your non-attended treatment time is the amount of time a patient spends receiving treatment inclusive of staff attendance and preparation and cleanup time. Okay. For example, first example is evaluation and treatment planning. So, evaluation and treatment planning most usually would take 12 minutes daw. Okay. Ended treatment time is 11 minutes. And preparation and cleanup time of the area that you need is approximately 1 minute lang. Okay. Well, the non-attended time, since this is an evaluation, kailangan mo talaga ng face-to-face or talagang kasama mo ang pasyente. So, 0% yung non-attended time. So, the total time is 12 minutes. So, hindi na ibig sabihin, ito talaga yung amount of time na kailangan nating sundin. This is an example lang from um, from the book also. Kumbaga ito yung experience niya, for example. Okay, most probably, baka ito yung experience niya. For during electrodiagnostic treatment, yung pag-a-apply niya ng TENS, ng mga ultrasound, okay? So, ang total time niya is 41 minutes. Total attended treatment time niya is 34 minutes. Okay, palagay mong 10 minutes siyang um, tawag doon, nag-TENS or nagbigay ng electrical stimulation. 5 minutes ang ultrasound, tapos meron pang ibang, tawag dito, pang electrodiagnostic treatment, then, ayan, 34. Then the preparation and cleanup time siyempre nung area, also nung pag-a-undress and dress nung patient, pag-clean up nung machine na ginamit mo. So, total time is 41. Home instruction. So, pag home instructions naman, usually, ito ay one-on-one talk with the patient and also yung mga caregivers nila. So, kailangan talaga ng presence, okay? Nung staff, okay? Attended time is 16 minutes. The preparation and cleanup time, 5 minutes, probably kung ano man yung ginamit niyang pang home instruction. Zero ang non-attended time and total time is 21 minutes. For the hot packs, usually kasi ang hot packs, pwede mo siyang ilagay sa patient, then, pwede mo nang iwanan yung patient. Okay? Once na na-set up mo na siya, so it includes your preparation and clean up time. Yun ang medyo, dun ka lang matatagalan kasi magbibihis pa si patient, ilalagay mo yung, kumbaga tawag dito, ilalagay mo sa towel yung hot packs, tapos papoposition mo pa si patient ng tama. Ayun. Pagkalagay mo, instruct ko lang ng konti for 1 minute is the attended treatment time kasi mag magbibigay ka ng instructions na if ever po na mainit, just call my name and I'll be there. Ganon. Okay? And then, non-attended treatment time kasi most of the time, ang hot packs naglalast ng 15 to 20 minutes. So, pwede mo siyang iwanan. Okay? Although, nagagamit mo yung area, okay, pero wala yung constant presence mo doon sa treatment area na yon. So, a total of 30 minutes. And so on. Okay? So, yan. So, kung ever na magkakaroon tayo ng, syempre, sa susunod yung report, okay, magkakaroon tayo ng planning for different types of services na ibibigay ninyo. So, sometimes there are conflicts between occupancy time and space requirement. Kasi, for example, hindi natin na plan ng maayos yung amount of space for that treatment. Okay? So, kumbaga, yung nalilimit yung occupancy time or yung treatment time kasi or because of the limited amount of space na meron ka doon sa department mo. Okay, kumbaga, for example, dito sa dito, meron silang parehong cervical traction. Okay? So, kung makikita nyo dito sa picture sa taas, yung cervical traction na ginamit nila is naka-attach pa doon sa treatment plinth. Okay? Wherein yung sa baba, okay, this is a space-saving type of cervical traction kasi naka-mount na sa wall, tapos yung patient pwedeng nakaupo na lang. So, same lang din naman po yung effect na napoproduce ng cervical traction. But with the second picture sa baba, mas save tayo ng space and also mai-increase natin yung occupancy time doon sa or yung available time nung treatment plinth na yung mga patients na kailangan ay nakahiga. 'Di ba? Kasi usually ito it lasts 10 to 15 minutes, parang mga ganon. So, kung kaya naman pala na nakaupo yung patient instead of nakahiga, then why not mas piliin na lang natin yung naka-wall mount na cervical traction para yung plinth, okay, na ginagamit, pwede pang magamit sa ibang patient. Okay? So, hindi lagi ang sagot for kung kulang ka na sa space is to expand. Okay? Although isa yun sa plan, 'di ba, na dapat pag-isipan natin in the future. Pero syempre, you have to utilize the amount of space muna na meron ka. Okay? Tulad na nga lang nitong example dito. So, the use of cervical traction or therapeutic exercises of the hand may be carried out in another area of the department, freeing treatment cubicle. Okay? For example, again, the stroke. Okay? So, yung patient mo, tapos na siyang gumamit ng bed. Okay? Tapos na kayong mag-perform ng mga bed exercises or lahat ng exercises that requires the use of the treatment cubicle. Next, yung treatment, okay? Yung susunod na exercises na gagawin ninyo na would be the management of nung paralysis of the hand. Okay? So, ano pwedeng maging solution doon para hindi mo masyadong ma-occupy yung treatment plane? Okay, puwedeng lumabas na kayo ng treatment cubicle, okay, punta na kayo sa gym, meron tables, puwede kayong mag-provide ng table do'n for hand exercises. Okay, so yung treatment cubicle na ginamit mo, puwede nang gamitin ng ibang patient that would require the use of a bed. Okay. Ayan, katulad nga nung sinasabi ko kanina, so itong nasa left side na picture, so yung kanyang treatment ng hand ay most probably ginawa na nila outside the treatment cubicle. And also ito namang nasa right, so assume na lang natin na sila ay gumamit na ng bed kanina, ng plinth, okay? Then yung exercises nila would require na lang yung mga standing, gait training, strengthening exercises using weights, then probably pwede na silang lumipat doon sa gym area. Unlike occupancy time, available time will depend on the number of hours and the number of days per week that your department is operational. Pag sinabi mong operational, open yung clinic. Okay? Nagpo-provide kayo ng services doon sa patients ninyo. So, if ever na bago pa lang yung department mo or meron ka ng plan for expansion, you should also consider or you should look carefully to the hours and days of operations as another alternative to acquiring more space in your department. Okay? We have to maximize yung potential muna nung space na meron ka para ma-reduce mo yung construction and operational cost. Okay? We have to consider i-extend yung period of service or yung period of operation or the amount of time na bukas yung clinic ninyo. Okay? For example here, okay? Ang original operation scheme ng clinic is 7 hours per day. Okay? May 1 hour lunch break 5 times a week. Then, nakikita mo na dumadami na yung patient mo, medyo kulang ka na sa space, okay? Tapos may mga patients na hindi makapunta tulad ng mga naka-duty ng 8 to 5, for example, 5 PM yung awas nila, kaso 5 PM sarado ka na, mga ganon. So, pwede nating maging alternative yung available time. So, binago natin yung operation scheme mo, which is your scheme 2. Ginawa nating 9 hours per day, i-exclude natin yung 1 hour lunch, tapos bukas ka din ng 7 times a week. Okay? In-include na natin yung weekends. Ano yung kagandahan ng Operation Scheme 2? Kasi nga, sabi ko nga kanina, di ba, na may mga pasyente rin na syempre nagtatrabaho. Hindi sila makapunta doon sa treatment schedule nila kasi syempre, hindi naman ganun kadaling mag-leave. Okay? So, yung normal working hours nila, hindi nila maiwan. So, yung end mo ng available time or operational hour mo ng weekends, okay, ma-accommodate mo yung mga patients na hindi nakakapunta during weekdays. Okay? So, anong magiging kagandahan din ito? Okay? Pwede kang mag-hire ng mga part-time personnel, okay, na pwedeng dumuti ng weekend and pwede mo bigyan ng day off, okay, yung mga regular staff mo on the weekends. Kumbaga, hindi naman ibig sabihin, talo ka kasi meron kang bagong hire. Kumbaga, nayu-utilize mo pa rin yung space na meron ka during the weekends. Kasi sayang din yung 2 days na Saturday and Sunday na hindi ka bukas. 'Di ba? Marami ka pa ring patients na pwedeng matreat during that day. So, yung return din ng investment mo is okay. Okay? Hopefully, naiintindihan po. Paulit-ulitin niyo na lang yung audio if ever na hindi po naiintindihan or i-message niyo lang po ako. So again, the gymnasium, as I have said earlier, na ang recommendation is approximately one-third of the department's total space. So, kung ang total department space mo ay 300 square meters, hindi ko, ano lang yun assume ko lang yun. So, ibig sabihin, 100 square meter doon is para doon sa gymnasium ninyo. Okay? So, my experience, okay, 2 out of every 3 patients will use the gymnasium during their course of visit. Hindi may iwasan. Talagang mataas yung utilization rate po ng gymnasium kasi nga, as much as possible, para ma-reduce yung occupancy time doon sa treatment cubicle at pwede kong i-accommodate yung ibang patient doon, ililipat ko yung patients na hindi naman kailangan ng bed doon sa gym area. Okay? So again, this is the most logical place to choose if you are overestimating space for your department. So also, this is one important area kasi kailangan mo syempre i-accommodate both the patient and also yung mga kasama nila pag pupunta sila doon sa clinic mo. Okay? So, the amount of space required to accommodate daw an ambulatory or a walking outpatient is less than would be required for a patient in a wheelchair or stretcher. So naman, kasi pag ang patient mo ay ambulatory or nakakapaglakad naman, syempre, yung amount of time na itatagal nila doon sa patient waiting area, hindi gaano magtatagal. Kasi kaya nilang lumakad from one area to another. Okay? Unlike for those in a wheelchair or a stretcher or sila yung mga non-ambulatory, okay? Diba? How would they go from one place to another, most especially yung mga naka-stretcher? Okay? Paano sila pupunta from one place to another kung hindi nila kayang gumalaw or mag-ambulate on their own? So talagang mas magre-require ng much time yung mga non-ambulatory patient. So, si Patton, okay, so isa din siya sa nag-propose ng formula, okay, para sa outpatient waiting area. So, itong formula na to, inassume that yung average patient requires 10 square feet of space for CT, just the minimum space required for waiting during those peak periods. Okay? Wait lang. Wait lang. So, the formula for space required for waiting is so determine mo the number of patient visits per week ha, multiplied by 10 square feet. So, constant na yon. Number of escorts. Okay? Kailangan mo din kasing i-consider yon kasi, syempre, hindi naman po laging mag-isang pumupunta ang patient sa clinic. So, usually, 1.5 daw maximum na number of escorts or mga relatives. Divided by 5 days per week, kasi yun yung, kumbaga, yung standard na operational time, multiplied by the number of peak treatment periods in hours. So, palagay natin na ano yung amount of time na talagang dagsa ang patient doon sa department ninyo. So, for example, estimate lang na 100 patient per week, multiply ko doon sa constant ni Patton na 10 square feet, okay, times 1.5 escorts. Okay, minax ko na. Then, divided by 5 days per week, then yung number of peak treatment period ko in hours is 6 hours. Okay? So, based on that formula, okay, kailangan ko ng 50 square feet para lang sa patient waiting area ko. Okay? Assuming kaya kong i-accommodate ang 100 patients per week. Okay? Yan. So, for storage facilities naman, syempre kailangan natin ng adequate space. Syempre for your towels, your linens, supplies, patient records, ano pa ba, mga assistive devices. So, kaya importante na yung location ng storage area natin should be of access, meaning madaling i-access yung storage area. Okay? Or madaling ma-access yung pieces of equipment na kailangan mo during your treatment. Okay, ibibigay ko sa'yo later. Wait lang, ha? So, planning for storage, okay, and its location must be done when other space allocations are being considered. For example, okay, dati gumagamit tayo ng mga cabinets for storage, pero ngayon, it is recommended na yung mga ganitong type of storage, kumbaga yung parang nakapasok sila sa wall, ang tawag ata doon ay alcoves or alcoves, okay? Or yung mga recessed na spaces para hindi siya, kumbaga, makakasagabal dun sa way or dun sa mismong treatment area. Maganda nga naman yung ganitong design na kumbaga nakapasok sila dun sa wall kung mapapansin nyo. Okay? Yan. Tapos, if ever na kailangan ng mga carts, okay? Maganda rin na, for example, itong nasa baba, okay? May mga cart or mga lagayan para dun sa mismong treatment, facilities like weighted mga gym ball, mga tawag dito, ano pa nga ba? Um, sorry, yeah, yung may mga carts na available dun sa mga equipments na kailangan natin for treatment. Hindi puwedeng as a gym ka tapos yung storage area mo para sa mga dumbbell, um, ankle weights, dun pa sa area may bukod ka pang storage area. So, yun din yung silbi nung mga, um, treatment carts, yan. Another administrative area is your charting area. So, syempre, this is an important part since, syempre, we have documentations in physical therapy. So, syempre, we have to have an adequate and properly located space for record keeping. So, as much as possible, yung charting areas should be close to patient treatment areas. Kasi during treatment, we have to document kung ano ba yung nangyayari. If ever merong mga um, adverse effects dun sa patient para din hindi mo makalimutan, you have to list it na agad-agad. Okay? So, also, yung record or yung charting area also provides yung opportunity for surveillance of your patient. But in the same time, it still permits you to carry out, okay, yung record keeping activity mo in a satisfactory manner. Okay? So, to you whether you want it to be handwritten patient evaluation or yung mga ngayon uso na yung mga electronic records. Okay? So you also have to plan what type of record keeping yung kailangan mo para yung space allocation din na kailangan mo is ma-plan mo ng maayos. Okay, for example, kailangan mo ng ang standard or SOP dun sa department nyo is a handwritten type of record keeping. So, syempre, kailangan mo dyan ng tables and chairs. Okay? If ever naman na electronic na yung record keeping ninyo, di ba, meron tayong mga mga standing desk. Tapos may mga laptops na available para mas para sa akin mas space saving yung mga naka electronic documentation kasi syempre isa din sa magiging storage requirement mo is yung mga folders, mga papers, ng handwritten records mo, siyempre kailangan mo rin ng storage space for that. Pero kung magkakaroon ka na ng electronic type of um, record keeping or documentation, it will save you also the amount of space for record keeping. Okay? Yan. Yun. So that would be the end of our discussion for today. Okay, hopefully meron po kayong natutunan. And if ever po na may nalilito kayo to some part of the discussion, pwede naman niyo po akong i-PM. Okay? Po nating magiging topic would be the equipment itself, yung mga parallel bars, yung electrical system, paano ba siya saan dapat ba ilagay, okay, yung mga voltage, etc. Usually naman 110 to 20 volts, 'di ba? Okay? Plumbing, syempre kailangan also yung mga lighting, okay? And also yung communication system, mga telephones, intercoms, etc. So, ayun. And also other decors na kailangan um for your clinic. Okay? So, if ever na meron po kayong questions, hindi po naiintindihan kanina, pwede naman po akong PM. So, meron po tayong quiz available po sa Google Forms na isi-send ko sa inyo. Okay? So, kailangan po na yung quiz ay matapos po within the day. Okay? So, it will be available from kung ano yung time natin. Ano ba yung time natin? Ang time natin is parang 4, tama ba? Or 3, nakalimutan ko na. Pero i-me-message ko na lang po sa inyo and ise-send ko din yung link for the quiz. So, yun lang po for today. Thank you for listening. See you on our next lecture. Thank you. Bye-bye.